So today is a bit of a half bucket list day for me. And I say half because I'm not yet rich enough to be hiring out a racetrack so that I can throw this thing round it. This is the 2021 Ariel Atom 4. It comes with a 2-litre turbocharged engine out of a Honda Civic Type R. You get the choice of either 320 brake horsepower or 350 brake horsepower with these. This is the 350 brake horsepower, which when it weighs 595 kilos, equals to about 600 brake horsepower per tonne, which is crazy. You'll also get from 0 to 60 in 2.8 seconds, which, to give you an idea, is the same 0 to 60 time as my old McLaren 650S. It is so fast, it's unreal. And you'll do a top speed of 160 mile an hour, which obviously, unfortunately, we're not going to try today, but I'm not really sure you'd want to in this. It's a little bit exposed. This car has Ariel specialist and partner Corton Miller AP 5000s, pedal brace, baffled sump, fuel pump loom, and their halfway geo. So more rear end grip and sharper turning. It's also got a short shift and a Tegawa gear knob, which weighs twice as much, but apparently makes the shift much nicer. Boot space. What boot space, I hear you say? Well, come with me. Space for a large phone, perhaps? I guess I could leave the passenger at home and put my bags in the passenger seat, maybe. That could work. Anyway, not much else to talk about on the outside. We'll finish that when we're doing the driving review. So, let's take a look inside. Ta-da! So, as you can see, there is not much on the interior of this car. It is essentially you and some scaffolding and some wheels. In fact, I can wave at you from inside the car, on the outside of the car. Look at this. Inside, we've got this lovely, lovely gear stick. Seats, gorgeous. Like, they're actually really comfortable, but if you're 4'11" like me, you do need a cushion at the back because I still can't reach pedals from here. So I have been driving with a cushion, which hopefully you won't be able to see on the video, but it was there. And then other than that, all you've got is a steering wheel and then a few controls and a dashboard. So you've got the indicators, which are on a button that you have to move side to side, and then remember to turn off, which I keep forgetting to turn off. It's great. Horn, you've got then launch control, which I'm probably not going to use today, as much as I would normally. I'm a bit scared of this car still. You've then got the traction control button, and then on the other side, we've got essentially the power. So if you put it on number 1, it gives you about 260 horsepower, and then number 2 is a linear 350, and then 3 is 350, but it's quite aggressive on number 3. It's actually my favorite setting, so it's a setting we're going to see me driving on all day. And then we've got the start button, lights, and then you've got your stop button as well, and then you've also got a fog light on the other side. This little orange bonnet thing is to give you a to tell you what brake bias you've got, so between the front and rear, so you've got an actual number to put against it. Other than that, nothing. If you want to take this away on holiday, you can fit either your bags or a passenger. You can't have both. Yeah, that's it, I think. Let's take it for a drive. The most exciting bit. Right, I'm aware I look a bit of a tit with this helmet on, but it's the only way you'll be able to hear me properly, so you're going to have to live with it, soz. So to touch on driving modes again, the little blue button next to the steering wheel is the traction control on the left-hand side. And you have 7 different traction control modes on that, so it gives you varying degrees of slip, and obviously how much the traction control will step in. And then to the right of the steering wheel, you've got the little yellow dial, which, as I touched on earlier, option 1 gives you about 260 horsepower, option 2, 350, but with a much more linear throttle progression, and then option 3 is just utterly brutal. Like when you put your foot down, let me just show you. Put my foot down. It's just crazy. Whereas option 2, still fast, but it's not as aggressive as option 3. As option 3 is just like, gives you probably a second or 2 to compose yourself, and then it's just an absolute like bullet. It's crazy. But that is absolutely it, and to be honest, that's all you need. I mean, I would suggest that you may, I don't know, I mean, I guess when you get on track, having the traction control dial is probably useful, but on the road, meh, I'd just leave it in option 3, so the, you know, the really aggressive mode, and the traction control is currently on 1, so it's very low. but I get a little bit. And to be honest, I'm not going to be pushing it hard enough on the road to really be getting myself into any trouble, you know. So this car is on Olin suspension, which is actually really lovely. So it's been set up. It's I think I said it's the halfway setup on the Geo, so it's a little bit more aggressive than normal road use, but you know, it's not full on race spec like my Exige is. And actually it's really nice to drive on the road. These Olins are, as I say, they're very well set up, but also they're very compliant, and they're not too soft, but they're not too hard. Like, I don't know, I can't explain it, but it's just an absolute pleasure driving it on the road. But the gearbox feels nice. It's really smooth. Ah, I was lucky I was wearing the helmet, because I would have got hit by a stone then. I've just seen it jump off my little visor. But yeah, gearbox is really smooth. This car's also decatted. I don't know what it sounds like when it's not decatted, if I'm honest, but this is pretty loud anyway. And this is also the 6-speed manual, not the sequential. So things I don't like about it are probably the indicators, because I keep forgetting to turn them off. And the fact that I'm getting very bloody sunburnt right now. I mean, I could put a jacket on, I suppose, but then I'd be very hot. So yeah, basically I'm warm, I'm sunburnt. Other than that, oh, parking it, really not an easy feat. However, it does have a reversing camera, which is shocking. And this has automatic headlights. However, it does have indicators that don't turn themselves off. But yeah, so other than that, nothing I don't like. I can see absolutely everything around me. As I say, it's actually really nice to drive on the road. It's been an absolute pleasure driving around in this car on the road. And you know, I'm not particularly driving fast. I'm not being a complete knobhead. I'm in someone else's car and I'm on a public road, so I'm not driving like a twat. But it's an absolute pleasure to drive on the road. However, if you know anything about Ariel Atoms, you will know that this is not a car for sitting around at traffic lights or doing 30 mile an hour on a road. So let's go and find a twisty road and figure out what it can do, because my God, is it good. Right, found my twisty road. So what happens is you put your foot down and then the car goes, all right, yeah, you can have a second, and then it just tries to rip your face off. If I didn't have this helmet on, I'd yeah, you would be able to see the massive grin that I've got on my face right now. So smooth. We're on AO52s as well, which if you watch my videos you know are my favourite tyre, the tyre that I have to run on my car for time attack, and they are utterly brilliant. But my God, does this just stick to the road? Like, absolutely no issues at all with grip. It's incredible. And the noise as well. I don't know if you'll be able to hear this. I'm hoping you will. But behind my head, all I can hear is this is great. Just the grip. Oh, I'd love to get one of these on a track. This is what it needs. I need one of these and a racetrack. So if anyone fancies lending me one to take to a track day, I would be eternally grateful. Oh my God. Listen. Oh, I really hope you can hear this. I really hope you can hear that noise that I've got behind my head, because it is just utterly addictive. It's not like, you know, last week I was in a DB12 and the V8 was a lovely noise, like also addictive in its own right, but this is like proper race car, you know. Feels like you are in a proper race car, but it feels like you're just you, a chassis, a steering wheel and the road, and that's all you need. It's just wonderful. I want one. I don't want to give it back. I really don't want to give it back. And I know that I do videos and I often say that I don't want to give it back, but I don't think I've ever meant it as much as I mean it today. I don't even want to give it back and exchange it for my car. I just want this. Christ almighty. What a car. What an absolute beast. Okay, right. Calm down now. So, anyway. Fun factor. Honestly, so my Exige 410 car that I compete in time attack in, which has cup car setup, and is, to be honest, it's utterly horrible on the road, but that gets a 10, because to me, that was the most fun car that I've ever driven. This is like 11 or 12. There isn't even a scale that this fits on with other cars. Like, they're definitely cut from the same cloth, Lotus and Atom. Lotus and Ariel, you know, the Ariel Atom platform. But I don't know, this is just another step up in both rawness and you know, and speed. The fact that you've got sort of 600 brake horsepower per ton, it's just utterly ludicrous. And you've got the wind in your hair. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just, yeah. But it's also not the sort of car that you'd want to drive on the road all the time. However, it is actually a pleasure to drive on the road, as I've said many times during this video already. But I can imagine it's the sort of car that once you get it on a track, driving it on the road may almost feel slightly pointless. It's also not the sort of car that you're going to want to take out in the rain, you know, dark, wet, whatever. It's one of those cars that's like a, you know, a weekend sunny day when it's like this, but you also probably need some sun protection, which is where I've definitely gone wrong today. So I am very burnt. Very burnt. Practicality, I mean, obviously it's like there isn't really even a scale for that either. It's, I mean, a 0. Maybe a 1. I'll give it a 1. You know, if you want to go away for a weekend and you haven't got a partner, you could put an overnight bag in the passenger seat, leave everyone else at home. But you know, there's literally no boot, there's no storage, there's no nothing. It's big enough for a phone. That's about it. But you don't buy a car like this for storage space. You buy a car like this for just being an absolute hooligan. It's fucking brilliant. I'm sorry for swearing, but it is just, yeah. I don't want to give it back. Just drive around this for days. The other thing to note is that you do, right, I get attention in other cars often, and I often say, you know, this car, you get a lot of attention in it, whatever. But this is like the respect machine. I mean, I've been called a gangster today by someone in a van. I've had the thumbs up by pretty much everyone. I've also had someone put their 2 middle fingers up at me when I overtook them, perfectly legally. They were doing 40 mile an hour and 70. But I got the pleasant wave from them. But yeah, you get so much attention in this, and everyone wants to stop and talk about it. But I can see why. You know, it's not the sort of car that you see every day. It's not the sort of machine that you see every day. It's, you know, it's something different. And oh, to God, I can't get over how much I love it. I do. I really, really do. Right, well, I've pulled over. I'm going to plug my headphones in, probably take the helmet off, and go and drop this car off, which I'm really, really upset about. But yeah, it's probably going to be the happiest hour of my life. Gutted. I don't want to take it back. Really don't want to take it back. But all good things must come to an end, unfortunately. Just like this video. So I'll see you next week.